Hello, my lovelies. Welcome back to Witchy Wednesday. We have been on a series that we are going to continue for the next couple of Witchy Wednesdays. We're actually doing shadow work through tarot. That sounds kind of interesting, right? Well, if you're new here, do yourself a favor. Go to my description, and in my link tree, click on the link tree and you'll see a link for the shadow work worksheets. And that's these. And we're going to use this one tonight. If you're here, let me know that you're here. Say hello in chat. If you've got any specific questions, ask. No problem. All right. I'll answer what I know and I will research what I do not know. I will never tell you anything that I am not 100% certain of. All right. First and foremost, I always like to start the series on where's our moon today? What's it doing? What's it supposed to be doing? What kind of magic can we do? Not what kind of magic can we do, but what kind of magic would work really, really well right now. So let's find our moon. And by the way, when I check for our moon, I'm using the Magical Almanac. I love this book, and I've said it before. I love, love, love my planner as well. So, but today, for our moon, if I could get to the right page, that would help, right? Today, we are having a waning moon, right? And it is in its third quarter phase. Today's color is gray. The moon is in Pisces. So as far as what can we do, what's waning? What does waning mean? Waning means to take away. So this right now is a good time to do banishing spells where you want to take away something bad habit. If you want to break free of a bad habit, you could do that at that time. So I am exhausted today, by the way. So if I trip up on my words or I just sound off, I'm sorry. I've had a very long day. Hey, Cindy, what's up? I've had a very long day. I was moving classrooms. I no longer teach yearbooks, so I've given up the yearbook room reluctantly because that was a beautiful room, guys. But I've given up the yearbook room and I am in a smaller room. So I had to downsize all the things that I've collected over the last couple of years because I had a big enough room to store them all. And I had to get rid of some things and start putting my room together because next week we go back. What? Where'd my summer go? Next week we go back. Orientation's next week. So I'm just like, Hey, Amanda, how are you? So it's been a day. I'm exhausted. So if I say anything weird, please ignore me. But I say weird things all the time, right? Anyways. So, like I was saying earlier, if you have not had a chance yet, go into the description of this video and click on my link tree. My link tree has a link for these worksheets. All right. These worksheets are what we've been using to go through this shadow work. Right now, we are on the Empress. All right. So, what is the Empress in tarot? The Empress in tarot is often the birth of something new. When you see that, it's either a nurturer is in your life, you are the nurturer, or you are, going to actually get pregnant, or somebody around you is going to get pregnant, or you're pregnant with an idea. And oftentimes I think it as we're pregnant with an idea. So when reflecting on the Empress and looking at what can we do through the shadow of the Empress, it came down to creation. It came down to that creative block that we're always feeling. Some of us that are artists, we know what this block is. Like, we will not be able to do anything for months because we feel stuck. So this is a bit of shadow. We all do some type of creation, and we all prevent ourselves from creating certain things because of our shadows. So we're going to work through the Empress tonight and find out what have you not created and why. What was the reasoning? How do we move forward? How do we manifest what we actually want? the happiness and the reality that we want can be ours as long as we get through this shadow of creating. So let's see. I've got you guys that have chat lighting up again. Cindy, you've had a very long day. Oh, I know. You're still working on that house too. And I'm extremely nervous about this school year. Are you sending the boys back, or are they going to be homeschooled again? I say homeschooled again, but you know what I mean, right? Amanda, we did creation day for the newest sixth grader. Really? That's cool. So this is exactly where you're supposed to be, right? You've already kind of gotten some stuff about creation, so this is right where you need to be. I better not be pregnant. Cindy, but you make the prettiest babies. All right, so everybody's got their sheets. Let's look over what's on here, okay? And by the way, yours would be in color if you wanted to print them in color. I'm a cheapo, and I try not to print anything in color because the ink is expensive. But there's some color in here. It's mainly just blues and browns. All right. But shadow work through the Empress. The Empress is the mother of all, right? She is the creation of life, and she is the creation of things that are not life. She creates rocks. Oftentimes, the Empress is seen as Mother Earth, or either like a pregnant, fertile woman. It really has to do with fertility and the idea of creation. That is the Empress. That is who she is. So in order to work with her, we, like I said, have to figure out what have we not created. Hey, Lori, what's up? And Cindy, you're going to be homeschooling them again? Good. That is what bugs me. And the fact that I'm going in and there's going to be students sitting in my small classroom, and now that I don't have a big classroom, they're going to be sitting in my small classroom and they're going to be sent to school without masks. And I'm a chronically ill teacher. I really am uncomfortable with kids being in my room without a mask on. I've been vaccinated, but still, if I was to catch the Delta variant, it could cause all kinds of havoc for me. So I'd rather not have maskless students. So I'm trying to figure out, Cindy, how to deal with that. I'm not quite sure yet. Hey, Maria, how are you? Amanda, I live in Florida, and we're just going to say, for whatever reason, masks became political. And so, yeah, that's where we are on that one. That kind of stuff, we'll get into that. I was about to jump way ahead because we are touching on some things that kind of make me not create, make me not have the creative outlook that I want to have. So these are the kinds of things we're about to talk about. So Amanda, yes. If you look up some of the Florida TikToks, that's all I gotta say right there. The Empress is our own creative abilities. It is the trust we have in ourselves to create the world that we want to live in. I'm going to repeat that line. It is the trust we have in ourselves to create the world we want to live in. How many of you will emphatically say that 100% of the time you trust your intuition? That when your gut tells you something, you listen to it all the time, even no matter how ridiculous it may sound, you listen to it. I can't raise my hand. I don't always listen to my gut. There are things that my gut says, and because of things that have happened in my life, I don't listen to it, right? And I think we're all that way. But in order to take out that brain of ours that prevents us from creating, we've got to think about that. We've got to think about trusting what our gut says first. You know, I go back to the seaweed. I trusted that I had to pick up a piece of seaweed for some reason. I didn't know why, but I'm an intuitive witch. So this particular shadow work is super important for me because creation and intuition go hand in hand. Any of you that create art, you'll know that in your head you have an idea of what you want to create. But then as you are actually creating, different ideas come out. And if you don't trust those ideas, if you don't trust your intuition about that piece, the piece might not be as beautiful as you want it to be or as cool as you want it to be. So it is important in creation that we trust our instincts, we trust our intuition, we know that our gut's not going to lie to us, right? So knowing this, it is the trust we have in ourselves to create the world we live in. What have you denied yourself? What have you denied to create for yourself? Think about this. What is something that, since you didn't trust yourself, you were like, I can't do that. I can't do that. Right? I will say for many, many, many years, and Cindy, this is going to sound, I don't know if you know this story or not. I have a really hard time with my artwork. Really hard time with my artwork. I put it up in the Etsy store as an exercise in shadow work. My Etsy store is my shadow work. I do not believe in myself. So I didn't have that Etsy store for a very long time. Like I've had it for a while, but it only came to fruition because of Cindy and another friend of ours by the name of Laz. Laz created something called Voodoo Con, and it was a bunch of people who really liked Halloween Horror Nights and Halloween, and they'd get together and kind of go through different vendors, and they had art vendors there, and they would have people talking about paranormal activities and blah, 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 right? It was very small. Cindy was one of the vendors there, and of course Laz was the creator of it. And I remember being absolutely enamored of both of their artwork. Like, Cindy is an amazing artist. Laz is an amazing artist. And I was just absolutely floored. And I was like, there is no way that I could do anything like that. And Cindy, you told me with this confidence that I should. And I should put myself out there. And because of that, I was like, you know what? Next time Laz has a Voodoo Con, I'm going to get a booth. And of course, he didn't have one after that. So I ended up having to, open up the store. But it was you and Laz that gave me the idea and the confidence to possibly pursue that. I didn't listen to myself. I had to listen to everybody around me, right? And I'm really lucky that I have people around me that are supportive and that hype me up and can see where I falter so that way they lift me, right? I'm really lucky. But not everybody is as lucky as that. So it is a good question to think about. Did I inspire myself to do this? Or did somebody else? And if somebody else inspired me, that's great that they did. But why couldn't I do that for myself? That's our shadow work, right? So what is an idea or something that you wanted to create that you didn't believe in yourself enough for? What have you not given yourself? I can't crochet. Can't crochet. See that? I can't crochet. I've tried. I can do a granny square. I was pretty proud of that. But anything other than that, I can't do it, right? I do not trust myself to learn. And that's ridiculous, right? And that's small. It seems like it's really small. You're like, okay, wait, if we're talking about manifesting things. Why are you talking about crocheting? Because it is in the small things that we create that give us that confidence to create the large things, the things that we really want. I want this house, right? For us, one of our dreams is to have an RV. I want to manifest enough money to pay down my bills so that way I can afford an RV, so that we can travel, right? But I got to trust in all these little manifestations, all these little times that I don't trust myself. I need to focus on those so that way I can see I'm successful with the small things. So, what's some things that you haven't done, right? I trust me, no one else seems to, despite the countless examples of why they should. It's maddening. I agree with this. um, and Cindy, so you're talking about building a website. Oh yeah. That one terrifies me. That's another one that I haven't tried either. Like I'll start, and then there's this little thing in my head that's like, you're going to misspell something. Something's not going to be grammatically correct. It's not going to work because you pushed the wrong button. Like there are so many things that get said and I don't trust myself to do it. Yeah. Laz is a wonderful guy. Yes, Bot 10. Bot 10 is Laz's studio. I actually use one of the books that he wrote and illustrated to teach deconstructionalism in literature. It's a children's book, but I use it for deconstructionalism. I've talked to him about it too, the whole thing. We need to get you a booth at Spooky maybe soon. That went, the whole idea of that is spooky to me. Like, ugh. I am looking into maybe getting a booth locally where I live and seeing if maybe like a farmer's market or something like that. I don't know. The artwork I do isn't for everyone in this county. I want to. I have it, but I will. You won't, though. You've got to trust that you won't. You got this. So we've got our things that we've prevented ourselves from creating, right? So let's look at the other thing. Of all the big ideas you've had, in your life, which one do you regret not fulfilling? Of all the big ideas, I'm thinking for myself, like I wanted to be a whale trainer. I'm kind of glad that I grew out of that one. I wanted to be an actress. I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be a marine biologist. Well, why didn't I become a marine biologist? Well, because I didn't trust myself to be able to get through college, right? It took me trusting that I knew literature enough that I could get through college. I didn't trust that I knew science enough. Why didn't I become an actress? Well, I trusted myself for that one, but I made some poor decisions. I made some poor decisions as an older teen. Decisions I would never go back and unmake, because if I did, then I wouldn't have my children. But that big idea did not come to fruition at all. Even though I had a full ride to Flagler because of theater, but whatever. It didn't come into fruition because of bad choices. But the idea of becoming a marine biologist, I solidly prevented myself from doing that one. Solidly. Because I didn't trust that I was smart enough. I made a 1510 on my SATs when I was in 10th grade. A perfect score is 1600. I'm smart enough. But I didn't feel smart enough. So this comes back to why we do shadow work, is because the things that are happening in our life are reactions to choices that we've made, things that we've reacted to. It is all just us. It's us. All right. What have you done that prevents you from being where you want to be? Now, there's a lot of people that have really negative support in their lives. And Negative support prevents you from seeing yourself the way you need to see yourself. It prevents you from trusting yourself, right? When you have a negative, toxic surrounding, you learn not to trust yourself. So when I say you've prevented yourself from doing this, yes, you have, but yes, you are also a product of your environment. All right. And this is why we do shadow work. I'm a product of an environment in which I was constantly reminded by my father that I was not smart. Right. And because I was reminded that I wasn't smart, I didn't trust that I would know science enough to go to that school. So even though I made the choice about the school, the environment that I was raised in created this distrust in me. The cool thing is that as an adult, I can go, hey, I think something's wrong here. I think I'm broken. I'm going to go fix myself. Right? And I recognize something's broken. So I do shadow work. Why do I do shadow work and not therapy? Because I don't trust people. Trust myself. Makes no sense, right? Oh, well, we could tag team it, you, me, and split a booth. Yes. Even though he would never do it. He would never do it. My husband creates prop weapons, and they're very nice prop weapons. And he won't sell them. He won't put them up for sale. Mm-mm. So, Cindy, I don't think you can talk him into that one. Oh, all right. Next question. We talked about the big idea, right? What would be different if you had made that big idea a reality? How would your life be different? Now, this is an interesting question because, like I said before, like if I had fulfilled the idea of becoming a marine biologist or becoming an actress, my life would have been different by leaps and bounds. I would not have had my children, right? So I look at my life right now and I thank the universe for the things I didn't trust myself doing, right? But even though I love my children, I don't know the life I wouldn't have had. So what if I would have loved that just as much? Right? So it's nice to think about what kind of different life would you have had if that big idea had gotten fulfilled, right? If, say, I became a marine biologist, right? I wouldn't be home. I probably wouldn't be creating as much. And art really is my happy place, right? So I probably wouldn't be creating so much. I'd spend a lot of time away. Probably not something I want to do, right? Being the person I am now. So I look at these things, and it's okay to say, yeah, I'm kind of glad that that big idea didn't happen. I'm glad I didn't trust myself, right? Doesn't mean that you can't start trusting yourself and that the next big idea you have is going to be a horrible one. Doesn't mean that. It just means that, okay, that turned out okay. But sometimes we have big ideas, and because we didn't take that big idea, our life stays the same. I had a big idea of becoming a teacher. There was no way I should be able to do this. No way. I had 3 children in a horrible relationship and was going through getting separated and divorced, right? There was no way I should have gotten through schooling. I didn't know how I was going to pay for it. I didn't know how I was going to feed my children. I just knew I had to do it. And I had to trust myself to get it done. And I did. I did. Like, I not only graduated, but I graduated with high, high honors, right? There was something that I said through the whole time. I was like, if I believe I could, I will. If I believe I could, I will. I actually said it so much, can't tell now because my skin's getting old and it's running in together. But I have it tattooed on me. I believed I could, so I did. And this was before the song. I think there was a country song or something that has this line in it. But I had been saying this to myself for some time. If I hadn't followed through and trusted that I would do well, I wouldn't be a teacher. I wouldn't be able to impact the lives of kids that need me, right? So sometimes these big ideas, if we don't trust ourselves, there are big consequences. There are things that path needs you to. So what are the big ideas that you didn't follow, and what kind of life would that have given you? What kind of life would you have if you have gone through the big idea? Often we prevent ourselves from attaining a goal. And I've said it before, we are the reasons why things don't happen for us. Okay? Our reactions to stimulus make us we have choices. Sorry, my brain was like, nope, not talking to you right now. When I say reactions and stimulus, what I'm talking about is somebody comes into a situation, says something to you, you have a choice of what to say back. Okay? That was a stimulus for you to speak. This is how we live through life. A lot of people react through life. You're never on the offense. You're never outwardly trying to get somewhere. You're just in constant reaction to everyone else. You're listening to react, not listening to listen, right? You're eating to fulfill a need, a hunger pain, right? Not for the enjoyment of that food, right? You watch TV. Sometimes I will say that kind of stuff, the entertainment kind of stuff, those are choices that you're making, right? But oftentimes, the reason why we sit down and watch TV is because we're reacting to being overly tired from work. So we're constantly reacting in life. We're never in the offense. We're never trying to change our reality. We're just reacting to the reality of somebody else. What would happen if you stopped reacting? What if you went on the offense? What if you planned, this is all the choices for my day? What would that look like? How's that different than what you do now? How much trust would you have to put in yourself in order to get those things done? Right? I'm working on it. That's why we do the shadow work, man. I am working on it. I want to be able to not react so much. I want, when somebody says something to me, I don't want my brain to go, oh my God, what are you saying now? No, I just want to hear it, right? I go through this stuff because I know I need to. You guys help me with this by forcing me to do this every Wednesday. Now, of course, you don't force me to do this. I do this. Okay? I do this because it's a choice of mine. This was not a reaction. This was, I want something. I want to be different than what I am now. So my YouTube was an offense, sorry. Oh, my brain just doesn't like words right now. You know what I'm getting at. Cindy, sounds like a plan. Oh, Lori said, sounds like a plan. Cindy's like, show pieces. He can attract traffic and take commission, baby. Yes, that's it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to get him to be our barker. How about that? I think he could do it. I think he could be a barker. All right. Think of a situation where fear has prevented you from manifesting your reality. Okay? And when we talk about fear, and when we talk about this real quick, there are two types of fears that I'm talking about. There's fear of failure and fear of rejection. Sometimes both of those fears prevent us from doing something. Sometimes it's just one. But for the most part, those two fears are what causes us not to do things. So in this big idea, this big situation, even if it's recent, What is a situation that caused you not to respond because of fear? I have a thing about things looking perfect. Even before I send out my artwork, several of you on here have bought pieces from me. Before you get my stuff, I go over it with a fine-tooth comb. I'm very meticulous about my pieces. Why? Is it because I really, 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 really want you to enjoy them? Yes. But why do I really, really, really want you to enjoy them? Because I don't want you to reject me. I don't want you to reject the piece. Because if you reject the piece, you reject me. Right? No, that's not how that works. Not at all. But that is where my fear of rejection leads to me doing something else. Instead of just trusting that I did it right when I sat there in front of it. I don't trust that that's the truth. I go back over it with a fine-tooth comb so that when you get it, it's perfect. And there is nothing perfect but the word. Nothing in this life is perfect but the word. Lori, both I think about selling my paintings. Oh, and you have... Now, do you have your shop up yet or no? That's a scary thing. And artwork especially, and I can't speak for anything else besides art, because art has been one of those things that has terrified me. It's been something that I would love to do, and I love just zoning out to it, right? I don't have to think. I'm right there with the piece. It's a very connected thing. I view it almost as a spiritual act. Creating artwork is just a way for me to see my soul in a visual form. Okay? Having that in front of other people is like almost like standing naked in front of somebody. You bear everything in front of them with your art. And that's scary. I'm scared that they're going to reject my art and therefore reject me, right? And I'm scared that I'm going to fail at what I wanted to do. So art is very, very, like, you have to trust yourself in order to show the art, because showing art is like showing your soul, and it's scary. Yeah, naked is the right word for it, Lori. Yeah, it's absolutely right word for it. Like, it's just, you can't hide. When you give somebody your art, you can't hide. That art is you, right? And so when they reject that art, it's just like, oh, that hurt. But not everybody likes all things. Like, there's some great artists. There's some master artists that I look at and I'm like, are you kidding me? Wait, huh? Like, I don't get Jackson Pollock. Don't get it. Don't get it at all. Right? It's not my thing. But he is a very well-renowned artist. Right? Just don't get it. So I should be able to understand that I and my art isn't everybody's cup of tea. And that's okay. I don't have to have everybody like my art in order to have my art be valid. And when your art's valid, you're valid. That shouldn't be the case, is it? That shouldn't be the case. But it is. That's what we do. Oh, my art is validated, so that means I'm validated. Give me a break. We are more than our art. All right. The Empress is of all things, and even things that seem to be impossible. She is possibility. She is impossibility. Okay? Remember this. Impossible versus possible. Use the power of the Empress and imagine your perfect life. Absolutely, positively, this is what my life needs to look like. Right? For me, perfect life. I got a block home. I don't live in a trailer. I want a block home. Right? 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I want a garage. I want a yard that has a shed in the back. Right? I want to be able to have a front yard where I have like a fish pond in it. Right? I don't want to live in the city, but I don't want to live too far out either. I want city water. I don't want well water. See how specific I'm getting? Be that specific. What do you want? Right? What is exactly your perfect life? Right? Lori, thank you. Hey, Stefan. I always said Steven. Stefan, how are you? I get caught up in my feelings sometimes when I look and see that 1,400 people have looked at my art in the last month and I've only made 12 sales. I feel this. I need to stop letting analytics get to me. Yes, because here's the thing. I know the logic of it. The logic of it is for every 100 people that tell you no, one person will tell you yes. So if you look at your analytics, 1,400 people have looked at it, 12 people bought it, you're above the odds. You're doing better, right? So you got to constantly think, okay, for every 100 people, so you had 1,400 people. That means 14 people. Come on. Just think about it that way logically, but it's so sad. Like 1,400 people looked at it. Why didn't I get 1,400 sales? Because we're not everybody's cup of tea, man. We're just the cup of tea that are like, oh, you see that? That's cool. You're gonna buy that? No, I don't have any place to put that in my house. I don't know what to do with that, but that's cool. That's what happens a lot, right? My thing is when they favorite the store, and I'm like, yes, got a favorite. And then I don't see them anymore. And I'm like, oh, I thought they liked my stuff. Right? But yes, Stefan, it's for every 100 people that tell you no, you're going to have one that tells you yes. So I think you're doing pretty good. Last thing I want you to do, and sounds so weird and you've heard it before, and I promise you it works. Takes time, but it works. I want you to create a dream board. A dream board is, this is what I want to happen. Okay? This is what I want to manifest. And you take and you put images on a poster board. I've done it through a Pinterest board. I find poster boards better, but you take the picture of whatever you're trying to manifest, right? You put that together. Mine, the reason I say it works, mine was the Cricut machine. For years, I'm going to tell you, for at least 3 years, I had the Cricut machine, the exact model that I wanted, up. And I was like, I can't afford it. It's $400. Can't afford it. It's $400. And then the pandemic hit and they put it all on sale. And I was like, I can afford it. I got the exact model that I wanted. Everybody in my family knew what I wanted. That's the other thing is, like, a lot of times witchcraft, and I tell everybody, witchcraft isn't necessarily just this, magical, energetic thing. Sometimes this witchcraft has to do with the psychological stuff. Okay. So for instance, with your sigils, if you write a sigil and you always see that sigil every day, and you know that sigil is money comes to me, you're saying this in your head the whole time. So then you don't worry about money as much and you see excess amounts of money because now you're thinking about, how do I get money, right? Weight loss sigil. I'm 100 pounds lighter. I'm 100 pounds lighter. I'm 100 pounds lighter. I see this all the time. And every time I see it, I remind myself, oh, I probably don't need those carbs today. Not happening. Right? So a visual dream board is this constant reminder of this is what I'm manifesting in life. This is what I want in life. This is how my life should be. So then you are actively working towards it because you're constantly being reminded of it. So on this worksheet, I actually have a second sheet here, and that sheet is your dream board. It's instructions on how to create your dream board. All right. The thing about your dream board, though, and I have it written in bold letters here, do not hold yourself back. That's what gets us in this trouble, is that we don't believe ourselves. Don't hold yourself back. Did I freeze completely? Am I back? Or am I completely frozen still? Don't hold yourself back, though, with a dream board. All right? Keep everything as an option. Remember, the Empress is everything possible and everything impossible. So let's look at everything, right? Let's look at everything and see what is possible. Create that dream of yours. Even if it seems ridiculous, create it anyways, right? I got the cricket machine. All right. It says, oh, Lori says she's going to have to figure out how to favorite me. With our shadow work, sometimes shadow work is really heavy. And the Empress doesn't have to be heavy. And that was one of the things. We've had some really heavy sessions the last couple of times. The Empress doesn't have to be heavy. All right. The Empress is about creation. It's about those ideas that you want to bring to life, right? It's that pregnancy, right? It's that development of this creative idea, this thing, and you're nurturing it and you're molding it and you're bringing it to life. That's the Empress. So our shadow work with her, it's what can I metaphorically become pregnant with? What do I metaphorically nurture and create within me to bring to fruition in life? What is the impossible thing that you want? How would you make it possible? That's the Empress. And that takes a lot of trust in our creative. So, how do you trust yourself? Start. Just start. Just start trusting yourself. Start making those leaps. The more you leap and you don't fall, more that you leap and you do fall, you learn you can pick yourself back up. I got this. Okay, that wasn't too bad. I'll do it again. Right? Like a baby walking. Babies fall down a lot. It's not too bad. I had 2 steps that time. Let me get back up. Right? So this is where we are. Trusting that even if you fall, you'll get back up. And the worst thing, and that's what I do with a lot of my shadow work, is like, okay, I have this idea. What's the worst thing that could happen with me trying to get this? Okay, that's not too bad. I can do it. So what is the worst thing for you, right? Stephen, you were a Christian for 24 years and was always told you have a purpose. You must do that. And it leads to feeling bad if you don't make it to it. Yes, I feel like we make our own purpose. And that's it. I was always told that I had a purpose, right? That's the upbringing that we had. You have a purpose. God has put you down here for a purpose. You must fulfill your purpose, right? And I never felt like I understood that. And I still don't understand that because I always felt like I was needing to do the things that I felt good about, not somebody I hadn't met. So my purpose, I do know because I make it. My purpose in life is to inspire others, not only to see themselves in the glorious beautifulness that I see them in, but to see themselves as success and to see themselves as better than what they ever got told. That's my self-made purpose. That's what I want to be my purpose, right? And I have to trust that I have the ability to do those things. And so I start off small and I get success, right? I started TikTok and I was like, okay, this is me. This is who I am. This is why I'm here, right? And people liked it. I was like, oh, they like it. I'll make another one. So I kept going. And Stefan, you had the same deal. You're like, I'll do this. People liked it. And so we create more and more and more because of those successes, right? Lori, I think you're right, Stephen. We'd be more likely to follow our strength. Yes, Lori. What are you strong at? I am gifted with the ability to make people feel good. I talk to people, and when I talk to people, they leave me feeling good. That's my gift, right? So I'm going to use that strength, and I'm going to push it into my teaching as well. I want all the people that I teach to feel amazing about themselves because I see them not like they see themselves. I see all the potential. I see everything, right? So Lori, what's your strength? Stefan, what's your strength? Cindy, Marie, what's your strengths? What are you not told you're strong at, but you are strong at? And I guess that's another piece of that shadow work, huh? Do we know what we are strong at, what we think our strength is? Right? Stephen, I need to get on the path of learning how to stick to a YouTube upload schedule. That's why I do the lives on Tuesdays and Wednesdays because I'm horrible with that. I'm still shocked people like me. I am not. You are a very personable person, and people like the way that you present material, right? You and I have talked about this before, Stefan, that I can present the same material that you present, but we present it in our own ways. And so people love us for that, right? There are so many people out there on TikTok and YouTube and Twitter and Instagram talking about witchcraft, right? And the way that you and I talk about it is different than those people. We say things in a way that our listeners resonate with. They understand it better because of the way that we say it. Why do we say it differently? It's probably because of the way we were raised or where we've been raised, right? So I'm not surprised that people like you. I completely understand this. And by the way, if you have not gone and followed him over on his channel, Witchy Friends is Stefan's channel. And on TikTok, he's known as Certifiably Gay. And great content. Please, please, please go follow him. He's a good friend of mine. All right, my lovelies. We have finished the Witchy Wednesday. We have finished the Witchy Wednesday. I know that sounds weird, right? Stefan, I love to help, and I think people who have been practicing for years feel bad or are less likely to ask for help. Yes. Oh, you say I'm amazing and have helped me so much. Oh, I'm glad I've been able to help. That's what I do. That's what I like to do, right? I like to help. I heard something today. I met a new coworker, and they were telling me that they've looked into witchcraft because we got onto the fact that I have a YouTube channel that's called Witchy Wednesday, and she's like, but I've been told you can't be like a little bit of a witch. You have to be a full blown witch. You can't just step in with a toe. And I was like, who told you that? Like, no, that gets guys. If anybody tells you can't be a little witchy, they're lying to you. First off, there's no rules in witchcraft. None. There's no rules set in stone at all. There are universal symbols that we use, but there really isn't any rules. You'll come against any witches. Most of them will have completely different ways of doing a protection spell, which is a pretty like standard witchcraft thing. But all of us have different ways of doing that. So you could be a little witchy. Don't worry about it. Be a little witchy, all right? Put that toe in there. You don't have to be whole witchy, just little toe. I'm going to light some candles tonight. I'm going to take a bath with some rose petals. Right? You don't have to be whole witchy. Lori, I'm glad you guys enjoy the Wednesdays and the Tuesdays. They're a lot of fun and they mean a lot to me. It is something that I get to look forward to when I've had a crappy day. I'm like, but it's Tarot Tuesday. And every Tuesday, it does not matter how long I've been doing this. Every Tuesday, I'm like, it's Tarot Tuesday. Like, I do this little dance. It's horrible. Horrible. But that's how I feel about Tarot Tuesdays. And Witchy Wednesdays, I'm just like, yeah. It's Witchy Wednesday. Stefan, I slept with my amulet. Good. I really think, and it says last night I said, I think that's something you need to do. Like I said, when we were talking about, because you don't have complete control of that gift yet, I would continue to sleep with that amulet until you do. All right. There's ways of practicing it, but the fact that you're doing it and not knowing it's kind of definitely keep the amulet on you. Lori, I got a goddess statue today. All the goddess statues that I've seen that you've gotten are absolutely gorgeous, and I only have none. I have none. I have a beautiful like woman in a death shroud on my altar that came from Michael's. And then I have a witch in her cauldron with some pumpkins. And the witch kind of represents to me all goddesses. So those are the only goddesses I got on my table. Oh, but you got Bastet. Oh, I can never say these names right. I'm so horrible with them. Question: since I have a mindset on this is scary, could it make it harder to control? Yes, because when you fear something, you're not mastering it. You walk into a dark room, right? I'm scared of the dark, by the way. I'm scared of the dark. I'm not scared of the dark. I'm scared of what's in the dark. I'm scared of what I'm going to see when the light comes on, that kind of thing. Because of that, I walk down my own hallway in my house and I'm walking faster. I don't have mastery over my own hallway at this point, right? So fear absolutely will inhibit you from learning something. It's not just a conscious thing that's happening, but subconsciously your brain is like, no, no, I don't want to do this. Okay. Sorry, my phone was supposed to be turned off, and for whatever reason, it's not, and it keeps making all kinds of sounds. This is so unprofessional. I'm sorry. So sorry. There. Now it's quiet. It's not going to make any sounds for you guys anymore. But yeah, your fear is consciously and subconsciously preventing you from mastering it. So how do we master fear? Well, we understand it. We understand and we dive right into it. So what is it that you fear from this? Is it that you fear the lack of control over it? Well, okay, you fear the lack of control over it. How do you control this? So I would continue to read. I would continue to understand. I'd watch whatever videos you could watch. I'd meditate. And allow during your meditation to get a little bit lost, but not completely lost. But I will say, if this is something you start to practice, make sure that you practice with someone in the house that you trust. So that way, if things don't go the way that you plan them to, there's someone there that can bring you back. Got it? By the way, we're talking about astral projection. If anybody wants to know, because I just realized I was like, that can mean a whole thing that I'm just not cool with. So talk about astral projection. Amazon has a lot of the goddesses. I'll have to check them out then. I'm more scared of the physical than the metaphysical. The dark scares me. People are mean. Yes. Yeah. But I grew up in a household that my mother has a gift to be able to see the dead. And it was, if you talk about them, they come. And I didn't understand that. She just didn't, like, it's very draining, right? I didn't understand that. So as my child mind put it into a frame of, this is bad, this is scary, something bad's going to happen to you. So you can't talk about ghosts, you can't talk about spirits. And so still as an adult, I'm scared of the dark because I'm scared of that I'm going to see a spirit. I've seen one before and it terrified me. I don't like seeing them. I don't mind hearing them. It's fine. Just don't let me feel you or see you. We'll be okay. I don't want to do that. So because of that, though, I do have, like, I know I have a gift that's being hidden because I'm terrified of it. It says, with the soul traveling, I'm scared of what I will see. Yes. As last week, do you think people can get lost when trying to come back? I have read pieces of literature where that has been documented, that they just never woke up. Whether those things are truth, I don't know. It's not something that I am gifted with. It's not because of lack of trying. I'm just not gifted with it. So I can't 100% say that that is truth. I can say that what I have read suggests that that is the case. That what I have read suggests that you might not just wake up because you can't come back. Especially if when you come back, your body's already been inhabited by somebody else, like lurking around. So that's where we go with that. But then, of course, we come into all kinds of other territory when we're talking about this. So that's why I said the other day, you really need to look into reading more about astral projection. And also, I would go ahead and read a little bit more about demonology so you'd understand that as well. And that's if you believe that way. Some of us don't, right? You do you, boo. That's right. You do you. Traveling is not for me right now. And it's not, like I said, it's not for lack of trying. It's just that I don't have the ability to. I think my brain is too tied down to this realm. My brain is too active for this realm. Kind of sucks. Can't shut it off. All right, my lovelies. We're at the end. Anybody got any more questions before we leave? If you don't, that's cool. I have a creator from TikTok that also was supposed to be watching the Witchy Wednesday. So if you are that creator and you've messaged me and say, I'm watching, hi. All right. My lovelies, be happy, be safe. COVID cases are going up, so I'm going to implore you to wear your masks, wash your hands, and stay away from people again, because people are gross. All right? So please, please, please protect yourself. All right? All right, my lovelies. Love you too, Lori. And I will see you all next Tuesday for Tarot Tuesday. If you want to see me between those times, get on Instagram, get on TikTok. I'm very, very little on Twitter, but Instagram and TikTok. All right? All right, my lovelies. Be happy, be safe. And I love you.